Okay, again, you're listening to New York City Visions. I'm your host and fellow New Yorker, Malsman. It is 7:20 in the evening right now. Again, it is June 6th, 2012. We just got finished listening to Leda Meredith speaking about food and how to eat locally and save money. And of all things, there's up here in the arsenal on the third floor, there's a photo exhibit right now. I guess it's artwork, watercolor on paper, by Asuka Hishiki, Asuka There's an exhibit of his paintings here, and it's all about vegetables. And here are a giant kohlrabi, a German turnip, and radishes, and baby leaves, and so on and so forth. Golden best. Beta vulgaris, whatever that is, asparagus, got some asparagus here, seckled pears, red onion. I don't know if it was planned to coordinate like this, but this just happens to be the exhibition, the art exhibition that's happening right now. Miss Meredith right now is signing, autographing books. Folks buying the book, someone purchasing now, and she's getting ready to autograph the book. And as soon as Miss Meredith is finished up, we'll get a few minutes with her. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about some of the notes I took over here, and then we'll get into it. We're going to hopefully, I'm going to wait till I'm just looking up. My handwriting's awful, folks. Let me just see what I've written. We're going to talk about being people, less invitations for dinner these days, the people inviting less people. We're going to talk about the Dirty Dozen. She mentioned Dirty Dozen. We'll talk about that a little bit. And I've written down a few things, and we'll get to speak with her in a little while. But right now, as I say, she's busy autographing copies of her book. And again, the book is the Locavore, L-O-V-A. Locavor's Handbook. I'm going to say local like carnivore, Locavore. The Busy Person's Guide to Eating Local on a Budget. So we're going to speak to her again. Let me give you her website. It's Leda Meredith, L-E-D as in David, A, Meredith, MEREDITH.com. So if you go to her website, you can purchase the book there and check out some of her pearls of wisdom there. So I'm going to pause right now. I'm going to wait for Miss Meredith to finish up, and then we're going to chat with her. Let's pause. Okay, we're back on, and of all things, I don't know if you planned it this way, but I'm looking at all the paintings here, the artwork, and we're standing Asuka Hishiki, Hishiki. How do you pronounce that?
Hishiki. And she's here, actually, if you want to interview her. She's right over there.
Oh, good. Well, I'll get her over. We're with Leda Meredith. We're in front of Mannequins and the Mundane, a portrait of an heirloom tomato. Does that look good to you?
Yeah. Okay. It does.
Okay. I kind of wrote that a couple of things. And first, let me explain that I mentioned dumpster diving, and I hope I didn't throw anything by doing it, but I saw a movie called Dive. Folks, if you want to learn about dumpster diving, Dive is that I saw it at a film festival a year or so ago. Talk about, okay, your neighbor faxes you or emails you. Oh, you've got a book to sign. Okay, Ms. Meredith has a book to sign. We'll pause and then we'll get back with it. While Ms. Meredith is signing a book, we are with Asuka? Asuka? How do you pronounce your last name?
Are you recording?
Yes.
Asuka Hishiki.
Okay.
You can see that my name.
I know, that doesn't help you. A window on nature, your art, your paintings here, some beautiful stuff.
Oh, really?
Is it in combination with Miss Meredith's appearance, or is this the way it turned out? Are you in combination with her appearance here, or was your artwork here anyway?
Anyway,
okay. How did you come to do this? Are you a fruit and vegetable lover, or you just picked this up as your subject?
I'm a food lover, vegetable lover, but at the same time, I think that's beautiful.
Fruits and vegetables, beautiful. I saw the Mundane. What is the title of that? Mundane, the heirloom tomato?
Monday?
Let's step over
sure,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting for Miss Meredith to finish. Mannequins and the mundane. Explain that.
No, because these are artificial tomato, right? That's the actual tomato.
Ah, I see. So that's an actual tomato, and the rest are.
The artificial tomato.
Okay, so that's
So
this.
it's both are these are so well made.
Right.
So sometimes you got tricked, right?
Right.
But this tomato is really boiling, just a regular tomato, but that's real tomato.
So you brightened it up a little bit. Okay. Your work is great, and I thank you very much. I'm glad. As a matter of fact, Miss Meredith pointed out you were here, so I got this. Thank you very much. And it's Asuka
Hishiki?
Hashiki. Got it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we did get with Asuka. Asuka. See, I got that now. Okay, your neighbors call you. Your neighbor calls you when there's fallen fruit. What is that all about?
So I've got a neighbor with a fabulous mulberry tree that drops fruit, and he hates it because it stains the sidewalk in front of his house. He's got a brownstone in Brooklyn. And mulberries.
Don't we all?
Well, I wish. And mulberries are delicious, but he's not interested in them at all. So one year I was walking by, and he happened to be outside his front door, and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I pick some of your fruit?" And he's like, "Please, take it all. Take it away." So he took my number, and now every year he texts me and lets me know when they're ready, when they're starting to drop. And I come and I get like quarts and quarts of fruit off of his tree that I make jam out of and other stuff. And he's thrilled because it's not staining the sidewalk.
Right. Now, you're not a vegetarian, which kind of
I'm
surprised me.
I'm not. A lot of people are surprised by that. I don't eat a lot of animal products, but I do eat some, and I do eat some cheese and eggs and occasionally meat.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg last year for Facebook, he decided he was only going to eat meat that he killed. Somehow he found a lamb on the street, or a goat and a pig, and he killed them and he ate it. Does that make sense to you?
I haven't done that myself, but
Shot a pig
I
in the
have
street?
not actually done that, but in some strange way, yes, that does make sense to me.
I'm guessing that there's 48% less dinner invitations going in because of the economy.
No, totally different. Dinner out, this is true. What's cool is because of the economy, more people are inviting each other to have dinner at home, and good old-fashioned dinner guests, And I love that, and I love entertaining, and I love going to people's houses for dinner, and I'm finding more and more of my friends are doing that.
So in other words, the economy being what it is, it's actually creating friendlier
It's creating
environments.
community in a way because people can't afford to go out, and so we're back to the old-fashioned let's have friends over for dinner, which I think is awesome.
What are the dirty dozen? The dirty dozen.
Okay, I don't have them all off the top of my head, but I know like strawberries are one of the fruits that have a lot of pesticides on them, so you should definitely buy organic. I think broccoli's on that list. If you go online, you can actually print. There's like a site where you can actually print out a little card, which I usually have with me, and you can also get it as an app for people who have smartphones, so that if you're at the store and you can't remember, like, is this one of those, the dirty dozen are the fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticides on them. So if you're trying to decide, do I spend the extra for organic or do I just buy the conventional stuff, if it's on the dirty dozen, you really want to buy organic because otherwise it's going to have a lot of pesticides that don't necessarily wash off. So it's worth it,
How many of the dozen have you mentioned already?
I think I just mentioned a couple of them now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess they pick up your book and they find out.
It's in my book, but they can also find that online.
What about botany and ballet?
Okay, so the book that they can find, The Dirty Dozen, and all the other stuff in, that's the Localvore's Handbook, the Busy Person's Guide to Eating Local on a Budget. My first book was Botany, Ballet, and Dinner from Scratch, which is a memoir and a cookbook. I now teach plant subjects, botany, at the New York Botanical Garden and the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, specializing in edible plants, so that's the botany part. My first life, I was a dancer. I was in American Ballet Theater 2 and Jennifer Muller The Works and a lot of other companies for several decades, and that's the ballet part, and there are some stories in that book about my touring days and whatnot. And Dinner from Scratch is all the food stuff that I've gotten into. So botany, ballet, and dinner from scratch.
Besides avocado, what are some of the other special occasion foods?
Citrus. We don't have local citrus here in New York, so that's way up there on the list. Yeah.
Now, I mentioned then before you went to sign a book, speak to somebody, dumpster diving. There was a film that came out, a documentary, interesting movie called Dive, with an exclamation point. These guys were going over the fence behind supermarkets, and they were throwing out huge amounts of food that weren't expired yet. They were real packaged. It wasn't just stuff they threw out. And families were eating really great on dumpster diving.
I actually think it's awesome that food is not getting thrown out, and I applaud the dumpster divers who are doing that. I won't do that myself because a lot of that food that's being thrown out is not local and it's not organic, and my commitment is more to the local organic food. But I think it's a shame if that food is just being wasted. So more power to them.
If feeding the families.
Yeah, exactly. More power to them.
Talk about CSA shares.
Okay.
We almost finished.
Community Supported Agriculture, CSA. It's a farm share, and basically you pay the farmer up front for the year at a time of year like late winter when the farm has no food to sell, so they have no income, but they have expenses. They need to repair equipment, buy seeds for the next season, etc. And they have a certain, however many members, and you sign up and you pay up front, and then every week you get whatever the farm had that week, as long as the growing season lasts, and you share the risk with the farmer. So if he or she has an awesome year, you get a ton of food. If he or she gets hit with bad weather or insects or something, you might get a little bit less food, but it's understood like the farmer has a guaranteed income and the customer understands that they're sharing the risk with the farmer.
Okay, next to last question, preservation skills. Give us a pointer on that.
Well, if you live in a cold winter climate and you don't do any kind of food preservation, even if that's just throwing some berries in the freezer, and you really try to keep it local, your winter diet is going to be really boring. So it adds variety, both nutritionally but also just for taste.
Boil jars and all that. Last question. You have a this is a really odd, long distance relationship. Talk about.
I know, very inconvenient for a locavore.
How does that plug into your diet?
Well, when I do travel, I try to eat locally wherever I am. So if I'm visiting, for example, not just my boyfriend, but my family is in California. If I'm visiting them, it doesn't make sense for me to eat food that was shipped from New York. So I'm going to eat food that's local there. So, my approach to that, I still feel guilty about the plane fuel burn to get me there.
Have you seen the garden up here, upstairs?
I have. It's gorgeous. And if people have not been to the Arsenal, which I lived in New York City for over 3 decades and I didn't even know it was here. And I think this gentleman has a question for me. So
I've worked there. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Then I just want to finish up and get a website and all that. Oh, let's do it now. Let's go to the website. Any phone numbers?
Sure. It's www.ledameredith, LEDAMEREDITH.com. And my email is on there, my upcoming classes are on there, books are on there.
And your books again?
The Botany, Ballet, and Dinner from Scratch, and the Locavore's Handbook, The Busy Person's Guide to Eating Local on a Budget.
And it's LOCAV, I guess carnivore and local and all that?
Exactly.
That's right. Leda Meredith, LEDA, it's been a pleasure. It was a fun piece that you did. I got a lot, and the artwork works, and the whole thing fits. And I'm going to let you, there's a gentleman waiting to speak to you, so I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
It's been swell. Thank you.
All right, my pleasure.
Okay. You've been listening to New York City Visions. I'm your host and fellow non-vegetarian, Herb Malsman. We're at the Arsenal in Central Park. Folks, if you're in the city, next time you're in New York City, check out the Arsenal and the zoo here, the Central Park Zoo, and they're treating the animals kindly here. I remember as a kid coming here, the cages and this concrete and all that, but it's gotten a lot better, a lot more natural here. It's more nature oriented now. So this is a great place. I think I'm looking at the seal pool down there. I'm going to take a walk down there in a little while. Oh, the zoo is closed. I see the fence is closed, and it's raining. I'm just noticing now it is raining. It has rained every day this month here in the city. So of course it's raining today. Well, that's it. That takes care of that. It's been great. Again, this is New York City Visions. I'm your host and fellow New Yorker. We're going to shut down now. I'm Herb Malsman. We're going to shut down now. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.